Hey YouTube! Something that I really enjoy doing is reading. It's probably one of my favorite hobbies to just, if I have an afternoon where I don't have to do anything, just curl up with a good book and really get absorbed into the story. And I love rereading books that I've read before that I enjoy, but I also really love finding new authors or finding new things that authors that I like have written. Discovering something new, I think it's really great. And a few weeks ago, I was talking to my mom one day on the phone. This was before I came home, and she was telling me about a book that she'd reading. She was like, I'm reading this new book, and it's called Sisterhood Everlasting, and I think you'd really like it. And I was like, okay, I don't know why you're telling me this, but okay. And I was like, well, like, what's it about? Like, why do you think I would like it? And she was like, oh, it's with like the sisterhood and the pants that the travel, you know those books? And I was like, oh, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. But then I was like, what do you, like, I still don't know what you're talking about. She was like, they wrote a book that's like 10 years later and I'm reading it and it's so good. And I was like, okay, like, that sounds awesome. I'll definitely read it when I get home. So then I decided to reread all 4 Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants books. I own them and I've read them a bunch of times, but I really enjoyed them, and I was like, I'll reread them so that I'll be ready for this one. So this is the book, Sisterhood Everlasting. I just finished it yesterday afternoon. I read it in like 2 days. It's like 400 pages? 350 pages. And I read it in like less than 48 hours. It's so good. I mean, I read the first 4 Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants books, which made this book make a little bit more sense, but my mom read this one, Sisterhood Everlasting, and she had never read any of the other 4, and she really enjoyed this one. So I think, like, whether you've read the other 4 or not, it doesn't really matter. Like, this book is a standalone book. You don't need to have read the other ones. It's so good though. Like, they're just about to, it's like right before they turn 30. I'd say the summer, but it's not really, it doesn't really happen in the summer. It's the only one that doesn't happen in the summer. It's so sad though. Like, it's so sad. It wasn't what I was expecting at all though, like at all what I was expecting. But it's so, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, because that is no fun. And like, even when I was reading it the last 2 days, every time my mom would be like, what part are you at? And I'd be like, oh, I'd be like, is this gonna happen? Is this person gonna do this? Is that person gonna do that? And they'd be like, I'm not telling you. And that made it so much better, having like no idea what was gonna happen. It's such a good book though. I definitely recommend reading this book, Sisterhood Everlasting by Ann Brashares. That's how I'm gonna say her name. It's so good. And like I said, it's totally a standalone book. You don't need to have read the 4 Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants books from before, but it doesn't hurt if you did, because it's the same characters. Yes, it's a very good book. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.